And we're live. Holy shit. Already in. Okay. Hi everybody. Big Jack Films here. Welcome to another live stream. Happy birthday, Spider-Man Prime, by the way. I feel like I owe you guys this because I am so sorry I have not been available lately. This year has been kind of weird. I mean, as much as I try to come back, I keep having to step back, and I really don't like that. So I am trying to get back into the swing of things. A couple of good things. First of all, completely COVID free. I had COVID for just to give you guys an update of what happened there. I had COVID for like a week. First time having it. Thanks, I hate it. Really did not like it. But then as soon as after, basically a couple other health things came up immediately after. Fatigue plagued me. Absolutely plagued me. I just didn't want to get up and work every day. I did try to keep the channel going via YouTube Shorts, which has been helpful, but I am starting to run out, so I do have to start producing more content. Second thing that happened in terms of just health-wise, fatigue was one thing. Tiredness and exhaustion. I've still got a bit of a stuffy nose to a degree, but I'm still going to try to give you guys entertainment. But the other thing that happened was that kind of really scared me is that a week after I had COVID, I had this terrible cough. And believe it or not, I was coughing blood, which is not good health-wise. So what I had to do was basically I had to get a medical check. And it was just a bad infection, a lung infection. But thankfully, I've been cleared of that. I took antibiotics for a week. And now I was doing puffers and stuff, and I'm out of. It was basically a really bad case of bronchitis that was kind of messed up because of COVID. So that happened. I'm okay. I'm perfectly healthy. I'm back to normal. I'm trying to get back to work as much as I possibly can. There might be times throughout the stream I'll be working and answering questions. But again, this is going to be a very simple stream. So again, just the basic rules. No spamming requests like for a bunch of stuff. I know you guys can't help yourselves, but try to keep that contained. Please, no arguing in the chat. We want to keep things civil. Super chats are always welcome. Really appreciated. And yeah, just be good, guys. Like things are good. Things are picking up again. So what is happening outside of that getting sick? I never made a Discord server yet. I just, you know what? Given how much I'm already juggling right now, adding a Discord server would just make things a hell of a lot worse. So I'd have to get monitors and everything. And that's one thing I wanted to bring up when it comes to work. So I am slowly working on the next few reviews, and I'm planning to really come back fully in 2024. However, my workload is extremely massive, and I'm already having a tight schedule and my time and everything. So in doing so, I'm having to actually get assistant editors to help me with some of my filler reviews to help have the time so I can work on the big projects. So the plan is to start the next set of massive reviews in January, but the backup plan will be March, hopefully. So again, videos are just done when they're done. In fact, we have a Patreon sponsored request this month that might have to be delayed, unfortunately, but I am also kind of planning a Christmas special. So you're probably going to get 2 reviews next month, hopefully. But that's been something that's been happening, is that I'm getting assistant editors to help out on a few projects. On top of that, I've just been very fatigued, and personally, I can't do this one-man crew anymore. I just can't. It's just not something I can really have the energy for. There's a couple other things that have come up, actually, outside of that. I'm getting more into physical activity again. I'm actually taking up stage classes, stage combat, to better improve my fight scenes for future videos and other film projects. So that is something that's happening. That has been in the works. But there's something I've been kind of keeping a little bit quiet that I'm not really even sure if I should even bring it up on the screen. It's nothing bad. It's actually something really good. But there's been some developments personally for me in terms of just life stuff, which is why I'm also, work has kind of been a little slow. So the short version is, I have been kind of seeing somebody for the last 3 months. This person is incredibly amazing, awesomely supportive, very loving, very caring. And, her and I have talked about, our future and stuff like that. So that's also been kind of happening. I'm not ready to go into too much details, but that's just sort of the short of it. So if you're also wondering why I haven't also been working as much is that, yeah, I have been seeing somebody. So that's another reason. That's another block added to my life. So I have to kind of make that a priority as well. So there's just been some stuff happening. I do want to see Godzilla -1, Godzilla Freak 1954. Canada, for some reason, is not screening it, which really upsets me. Like, y'all Americans get all the good stuff. That's not fair. But yeah, that's just sort of the basics of what's been happening. Very short, very to the point, very sweet. But I'm getting better. Basically, I'm getting better, and I'm just on a trajectory of videos are done when they're done. So I do, again, guys, thank you so much for all your support, your patience, your extreme generosity. Like, God, I can't remember. I think it's one of our fan from Sweden, Carl, sent us a bunch of stuff. He actually sent me a couple of Funko Pops, which I really like. Which, thank you. Sent me a Kong Skull Island Funko Pop from Godzilla vs. Kong. He sent me a couple of Inuyasha Funko Pops, so that's pretty cool. A lot of that is happening. And I want to just answer this question quickly. Did I already review it? I reviewed it as an opening night. That is going on. That is being worked on right now as my Dominion review. So I guess I'll give you guys sort of a rundown of what you could expect in order of release of what I'm planning. So this month's Patreon sponsored review is of Chicken Run, the first one. One, because the fans suggested it, and I actually used to love that movie as a kid, so I'm working on a review right now of it. But on top of that, and it's funny because I actually wanted it to come out this week for Thanksgiving, but that's not happening now. So, but that's okay. So that's been happening. Working on an episode of that, and also because the second one's coming out, and I do want to see that on Netflix. And you'll probably get the return of Opening Nights with that because thankfully it's on Netflix. I can watch it simultaneously while I watch Camp Cretaceous. So that is happening in this month's review. But again, that could be delayed slightly. A lot of people are being delayed. Like, I know Huey Two More's latest video got delayed constantly, and that was his Halloween special. And so was Sean's video. So things are delayed. I'm not the only one. So thankfully, I'm not alone. The Christmas special, we're actually going to try to put out a Christmas review this year. We haven't done one of those in years. And the one we really want to do is, I've thought about this. I'm going to talk about the second Sailor Moon movie. I did talk about it in my top 15 Christmas specials back in the first season, but I feel like, you know what? I'm going to revisit it. It's about time I go back to Sailor Moon a little bit and talk about the second movie, which was my favorite in the trilogy. And it is technically a Christmas movie. So we're going to talk about that hopefully this holiday season. Then after that, it is right down to going back to the King Kong reviews. You're going to get 5 episodes, which I'm hoping to release week by week. That's why I'm waiting to put out a trailer or something like that. I'm going to probably put out some teasers this month, hopefully, but week by week, you're going to see, like, when those episodes drop, it's going to be like 5 weeks, 5 episodes, very extensive, very informative. A lot of great cameos, a lot of great people in this. We're upping our ante with the Kong reviews, and it's going to be a glorious return because I feel like I've given it a year and a half that I needed a break from it, but now it's coming back fully. After that, we're going right into the Jurassic Park Legacy reviews. Right after, it'll be a 4-episode retrospective talking about the books, talking about the, Camp Cretaceous, which I'm still watching as I'm editing. The short films along with Dominion. Those are going to be sort of the 4 episodes on that. So those are going to happen right after. After that, season 8 is just going to be kind of like, there's going to be a couple of filler episodes. There's going to be, I know I've been taught, there's one, I'm going to talk about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie, the first one. My next Batman movie will be Mask of the Phantasm because the rule of thumb is I'm going to be reviewing pretty much every theatrically released Batman movie. I'm not going to talk about the direct-to-video sequels. I'm not going to talk about, stuff, TV specials and stuff. And, I won't even count Lego Batman. It just has to be Batman story-centric. Fighting crime, mystery, stuff like that. It just has to be in that field. But what's great about Mask of the Phantasm is that it's going to be my chance to talk about the animated series, which I love so dearly. So that is something that's going to happen. I'm also working on a review of the 2003 Peter Pan with JT is Reborn. It's going to be a follow-up to our Hook review, which, again, is something we're going to work on. But again, we're going to keep request reviews to a minimum unless it's a Patreon sponsored episode, because there is a lot of stuff I do need to do first before I get back onto that. But yeah, basically, in terms of just reviewing Polar Express, and okay, this I actually wanted to bring up that Godzilla Freak did. Brought up. Jurassic World Chaos Theory is coming out sometime next year. Unfortunately, when I talk about Camp Cretaceous, I'm not going to have much time to talk about Chaos Theory, although I do want to see it because I actually have been thoroughly enjoying Camp Cretaceous. But when it comes to Chaos Theory, the episode will release before it comes out, so I will make mention of it, saying I actually am looking forward to watching it. But when it comes to a review of Chaos Theory as a whole, here's my plan on that. Here's what the potential will be of me covering Chaos Theory. It'll either A, be a Patreon sponsored episode, or I kind of want to wait to see if they do another movie. I want to wait until they do another film before because the thing is with doing Camp Cretaceous and all this was supposed to essentially wrap up the legacy reviews. This was supposed to wrap up my time on Jurassic Park. And that's what's really great about writing this new set of episodes, is that not only is it reviewing Dominion, which is supposedly the last film, but it wraps up a not really planned trilogy of reviews of the series and an overarching story. So like the first legacy reviews was just me being a fan and talking about them with the new movie Jurassic World coming out. Fallen Kingdom was that whole era, the second wave, that was basically the start of having a plot, because you had me talk about the movies, talk about the games, eventually leading me on to Isla Sorna and then the adventures that follow through. But now in a post-Ready Player One era, because I'm still playing a character of myself, this one is actually going to wrap up the legacy reviews in both reviews, but also storylines with my time with the dinosaurs of Jurassic Park. So it's going to end that. We actually just filmed pickup shooting yesterday for a couple of interior sets and sequences utilizing the Royal Ontario Museum, which has these great dinosaur specimens. They have this beautiful sauropod in the center. But then on top of that, their dinosaur exhibit actually just got a huge upgrade with a Triassic period area with Dimetrodon and Postosuchus. There's some really cool dinosaurs in there. So we're utilizing a lot of that and using the museum as essentially a set piece for one of the lands in the park. So that is something we did for pickups and reshoots while we were there. We utilized the sets and the empty space. But what was cool about going to the ROM yesterday, it was actually free. Is that for any Ontarians here or in my hometown, if you go to the ROM every third Tuesday of the month, the museum is free. And you can just go in there and look at stuff. So there's a kudos on that end. So we did some of that yesterday. And then we're doing a lot more interior shooting now because of the weather changes. So a lot of soundstage shooting, a lot of interior shooting, a lot of that's happening now. And we're hoping to get Jurassic Park going by 2024. I know we missed the 30th anniversary deadline, and I am so sorry for that. Again, there was a lot of distractions, a lot of weirdness, and a lot of fatigue that happened to me this year that I was not expecting. And I think after Ready Player One, I really was just so exhausted that I never gave myself a break. And that's another thing I'm going to bring up. Pre-COVID, we had 3 big projects in production that all started in 2019. Batman, Ready Player One, and the Star Wars prequels. And we did not expect how crazy the world would change in the last few years. So my goal has basically been, most people would say, oh, well, we tried, let's reboot, reset, because the world changed. We can't really do this shit anymore. I had the determination to say, no, let's finish what we started. Now we've had 2 down, 1 to go. So Batman was finished, Ready Player One was finished, but now we have the Star Wars prequels. What is going on? They're getting there. They're getting there. Again, it's just fatigue, and it's really just me being fatigued and exhausted and tired and not able to be a one-man crew as I used to be. I'm trying so hard to keep up, but it feels impossible. And maybe because I'm kind of franchised out with a lot of things, that's one of the reasons why. Like, I've tapped out of things. Like everybody's like, hey, Jack, what do you think of this? Hey, Jack, what do you think of that? What do you think of the Kong game? What do you think of the Godzilla show? What do you think of this Jurassic Park thing? And I just can't meet the demand because I am so slow and I'm so tired that I can't process it all. And it keeps piling up that I have to talk to those next, but it's going to take me a while to get to those. Like with this new Kong game out, I'm going to talk about it. Don't get me wrong. You guys are getting a review of that and I've heard nothing but awful bad things. So I'm like, this is like great material to work with. But on top of that, it's going to actually be a kind of a sequel to the previous King Kong Games episode that I'm kind of tinkering with, because there is another game. It's not just that crappy PS4 game. Or PS5. I don't even know what we're up to now. That's how far behind I am. We're also getting towards essentially the VR arcade, which I have seen out in the wild, which I do want to play and give my perspective on. So that's another reason why I'm holding off doing a review of the game, because I want to review both games in one video. I think that would be a great idea, unless I do a double feature, because again, more revenue. But I feel like doing games in like a whole pattern is something to do. But that is something definitely going up my alley as well. So I am going to be doing that. But again, that's down the line. But just in terms of filler episodes before we get to the Star Wars prequels, so it's basically Kong, Jurassic Park, then the Star Wars prequels. But in between that, there's going to be a couple other filler episodes. I'm doing Peter Pan 2003. I'm doing Power Rangers, the movie. I am also planning, maybe in between all of that, covering our three-way crossover review with Brad, Lost Media Junkie, and Brock of IndiFan Fandemic. There's a infamous online miniseries from like 2006 that we're thinking about covering, because it's going to open a whole can of worms of things people have forgotten about. Now, what we're doing is we're covering something that is kind of controversial, but at the same time, like, it's not intended to be being like a bad like mark at the people who created it. We just want to bring it up because we have nostalgia for it. We want to talk about it and say, here's a piece of entertainment that a lot of people forgot about it. And it covers all the basics. It covers multiverse stuff, which I like to do. It's sort of a lost piece of media, which Brad likes to do. And it's also a fan film, which IndiFan likes to do. So it works for all three of us. And that's something I'm going to cover as well. But in terms of just the prequels themselves, what the plan is overall going forward is that after the prequels, I have made the conscious decision that I'm going to take a huge leap of absence. And that means that I'm not quitting YouTube. I'm not leaving YouTube. I love YouTube. I've had a few problems with it in terms of a company, but in terms of just working ethic, it's my dream job. It's something I like to do. But because of money and because of our economy and everything, it just doesn't meet the demands of being a workforce. So a couple things are going to happen during that year off. I'm going to take time for myself personally to better plan my routine, because my routine has been on autopilot after a car wreck, especially post-COVID, where it's racing towards the finish line, but it's slow. But after that, I have to get back into shape physically, mentally, organized. On top of that, there's going to be a lot of stuff down in my future that I have to prep for, that I have to save for, and so on. And that means I probably have to get a better proper job, proper bit of gigs to make a bit more money. There's places I want to travel to. There's a lot going on. And what's weird about the Star Wars prequels is that it's going to be the mid-season finale of season 8, meaning it's not the end of season 8. It's just the middle ground. It's the middle finale, because we still have a second half to produce. But before I get back to that, I have to come back with better quality, better content, better structured stuff. But also, like, I'm going to update my cameras. I'm going to update my computers. I'm just going to save up and make it really good before I feel really ready to come back. But again, that's a long time. This is only after the prequel reviews are done. So don't worry. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to come back into shape. But I am going to try to put out a shit ton of content while we wait for the prequels. And then after the prequels, it's break time. And I owe myself a break after the pandemic, because I've been going nonstop because I don't know when to quit. But I'm not quitting. I just need a long extensive vacation. I know even now I'm taking a long extended break, but that's only because I've been fatigued. And you know what's funny? I'm not the only one who was going through this, because outside of the medical stuff on his end, Doug has been going through the same thing. Doug Walker, Nostalgia Critic, who I reached out to. I said, man, like, I've been going through the same thing, fatigue. Like, it's been been really bad, and I don't know how you handle it. I don't know how you manage it, especially when you're pumping out so much a week. And he gave me a lot of really good advice. He gave me a lot of tips. He was so generous to take some time to talk to me about stuff, which I really appreciate him for. You know, say what you will about Doug, but the guy cares. The guy actually gives a shit about his audience. He gives a shit about the people who watch him. He gives a shit about the people he works with. And it's such a wonderful time. Any chance I get to talk to him or work with him and stuff. So he's a good friend overall that I can rely on things to get done. So kudos to him. Actually looking forward to his, I think his commercial special is coming out today, which is really cool. So there's that. That's sort of the gist of what's been happening. Why videos are kind of scarce. It's just because I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I have fatigue. Even my throat still has issues, but all the comments you guys are getting, I'm so sorry. Like, I mean, Matthew Lammett, Mesozoic, you guys are the best. I really appreciate everything about you. So we're going to catch up on some questions here. If you guys have any questions about the show or whatever, please let me know. I always like to answer those type of questions because there's a lot going on. Another project I'm working on in 2024 that I've been kind of tinkering with, I haven't really done any editing, I'm just writing it, is a 20-year retrospective on the Reviewerverse, which is basically the lore canon of online reviewers on YouTube, because most of these guys are characters of themselves. So I want to do sort of a chronological, abridged timeline, like sort of video on the Reviewerverse for its 20th anniversary. Now, why is it 20? Because technically the first video that kind of sparked the Reviewerverse was Angry Video Game Nerds Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest review from 2004. Even before YouTube existed, the Reviewerverse was birthed, and it is inspired and adapted so much. You know, the nerd then became Nostalgia Critic, then Linkara, then Spoonie, then Angry Joe, and just so on and so on to what we have today. Like, my crew is sort of the next generation of that. So we want to kind of do sort of a chronological timeline of the lore events, like not necessarily the reviews, but more so the lore of the entirety of the Reviewerverse, and just give everybody sort of a recap and sort of a better understanding of it, because there is a lot of complications and confusions because there's so much, because we kind of predated Marvel in terms of lore, and to be fair, we're doing a better job keeping it up than Marvel is, because Marvel's just, oh god, I don't even want to get into what the fuck what's been going on with them. But again, thank you so much for your patience and your time. Really appreciate it, guys. And so let's get on to some questions. I'll probably also simultaneously be doing a couple of effect shots that I shot yesterday. So yeah, really appreciate it. Let's just go through here. Where were we? Okay, so that InGen thumbnail, that's a shot from the Legacy reviews to give you an idea of what's going on in that. So yes, InGen will be involved, which I'm excited for. The storyline we have for the Legacy reviews is going to be really something. I'm really excited to show it off to you guys. I know you're not into it, but Doctor Who is turning 60. Oh, shit, really? I mean, I like the theme song and I like the Daleks, but I've tried Doctor Who. I tried 2 movies, and I don't get it. It's so strange to me. Let's see here. I'm seeing my Godzilla 1 of Swan. Yeah, again. Canada, why aren't we getting it? I already answered the question. I really don't like Jurassic World Dominion. I mean, that's going to be there. Okay, the short version of my opinion of it is that it's better than the last one, but not by much. It really has, it's got the same problems Rise of Skywalker has. But you know what's weird is that I talked to a friend about it recently. Like, looking back on Rise of Skywalker, and we kind of actually realized, you know what? Last Jedi has kind of gotten a little better over time, because at least it did something different and it didn't follow formula. Whereas Rise of Skywalker is just about trying to get people's attention back. It just feels like such a... It's weird. It's really weird with Star Wars how flipped it is. Because even with see, this is what bugs me about the fan base too, is that they are so mad about everything. Everything is negative with Star Wars now. Nothing's enjoyable. Everything's bitched at. Everything's complained about. Everything's nitpicked at. To the point of when the fans are so pleading and desperate, saying, please put Dave Filoni on. Dave Filoni, put him in. Make him in charge. And Lucasfilm finally does it. Then they're like, Well, we don't want him in charge anymore. Ahsoka was bad. So it just made no difference. It didn't matter if you begged and screamed for it. It still wasn't going to be satisfying. I am seeing people actually bitch about Dave Filoni now being in office after years of telling him to be in office. But after Ahsoka, it's like, you're still not happy. So what was the point of you bitching and moaning if you're just going to still be mad at the thing? It made no difference. It really didn't. And this is why with Star Wars, I don't take it so seriously and I enjoy it. So with The Last Jedi, it has gotten better over time because it does things differently. It does what people want to do. It does kind of grow up. But, and with Rise of Skywalker, it was kind of a worse film. But when it comes to Jurassic World, it's kind of the opposite because with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, I think there's a good movie in there. It's just been meddled by studio editing and studio notes and, political pieces about a certain somebody. And it's just like, and it just completely destroyed the director's original intention. Like, I love what the director did. I love what the director's creativity, J.A. Bayona. I think he's fantastic. But for some reason, the movie just got interfered. If you just added some stuff that was probably cut from the original version, and if you just scale it to like a 4:3, I think it could be a much better film. But unfortunately, again, studio interference, which is why Dominion is a tad better, because it is better. It is more fun. It is more entertaining. But it still feels like it's being held back by something. So it's much like Rise of Skywalker. There is something there to fix things. But they chickened out at stuff that could have been a banger for audiences. One of the biggest issues I have with Rise of Skywalker, lack of Anakin. Anakin should have been prominent, along with Luke. If you're especially, because here's the thing, if this is supposed to be the final chapter to the Skywalker saga, then you should have done something about it. Hang on, I just got to clean my glasses because they are dirty as hell. But you should have had Anakin be prominent. But it feels like with Ahsoka, I think that's why people are upset with Ahsoka. That we're finally getting what we want too little too late. When the things that we're getting now should have been in the sequel trilogy. And it just feels like, well, it's the equivalent of working and your paycheck doesn't come in on time. So you find another way to pay the bills. You find another way to be satisfied. And then that check comes in. It's like, this is pointless. Why'd you give this to me? I mean, I'll still take it, but it's pointless to what it originally was meant to be for. So I think that's the issue with Star Wars and with other franchises, is that too little too late. You're finally giving people what we wanted after you've already fucked it up. And you can't do that. You have to do it on the mark. So that's the issue I have, is just Dominion is better than the last film, but it still has problems. And I will be talking about that when you see it. It's true, man, but I hope you guys do get Godzilla. Yeah, I do want to see it. I'm going to cover it. I do want to review it. I do want to do an opening night on it. But I think Chicken Run and Godzilla -1 are going to be the next two opening nights when I get a chance, because that'll be a good way to come back, because there's a lot of stuff I do want to talk about. Hi, Fiction Nexus. Good to see you. Fallen Kingdom I liked more because it was basically gothic dinosaurs. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it sucks when 65, which is a movie everybody's already forgotten about, that came out this year, was a better movie. I think that's the thing. I think, honestly, people are just, I mean, I'm in the same boat. After The Flash, I'm kind of franchised out. I'm kind of tapping out. Like, here's my thing with franchises, is that now I just don't care. I think I'm more invested in fan film projects, like even my own, than the actual movies themselves, because they're just getting tiresome, and they're getting lazy, and they're getting exhausting, and they don't do anything with them. And there's just they feel like a factory-made product. They feel like they were made in AI, which makes them soulless, which really sucks. Which Sailor Moon movie? I'm going to talk about the second one, which is my favorite, Hearts of Ice, because that's technically a Christmas movie. And that's why I want to cover it during the holiday season, because I think it is something to talk about. Cannot wait for you to review Chicken Run. Yep, that's our Patreon sponsor this month. Polar Express. A lot of people like that one. I'm more akin to things like, I mean, my top 3 favorite Christmas movies are Bad Santa, which I still love. I love, you know what? I ironically love the Star Wars Holiday Special because it's such a drug trip. But also, Batman Returns is my favorite Christmas movie. I've not seen the movies people tell me and not worth my time, but I hope they're wrong. Yeah, man, just go explore and watch movies, man. You never know what you find. There's some movies I've talked about that people have never heard of, and I bring attention. People say, "Yo, dude, thanks for introducing me to this movie. I didn't know." I'm like, I didn't know either, and I loved it. It's great. Hi, man. Good Lizard Productions. Good to see you. You know what, man? I just want to say, I have your art piece on my art wall in my kitchen, and it hangs there gloriously. Thank you so much for that artwork at Chief Fest, man. Guys, go subscribe to them. Go subscribe to this guy. He's great. Are you talking about the recent movies? Yeah, I think maybe he's talking about the recent films, which I have not seen. I'm just talking about my favorite Sailor Moon movie of the original trilogy. I can't believe I have to call it that. The original Sailor Moon trilogy. Where's that box set, George? So I will be talking about that. Let's go. Perfect says Jurassic World Chaos Theater. Okay, yeah, actually, that's what's great about it. It lines up with the new show. So maybe I can even release it by the time the show comes out. And by the time the show comes out, I'll get an opening night for you guys to give you guys my overall thoughts. But I will probably be, that would be actually, that's not a bad idea to release it around that time. But let's see what happens. Can you do a review of the Polar Express? Again, Patreon sponsor. I wasn't sure which one. Hi, my fan film kid calling 40 years later will be on hold as I have to upload the other plush videos. No worries, man. Looking forward to seeing what you got. There's always Patreon. Thank you. Yeah, Osiris, thank you for I just want to say, Osiris has been doing such a good job monitoring all my videos. Really great job, dude. If I could pay you, I would, but I have no money. But I really appreciate it, man. Really love that. Personally, don't like the show. I thought it was rushed and kind of underwhelming. I know, which show? There's interactive episodes? What the fuck? What? Okay, I don't know if I'm going to have time for that because I would just rather have a simple story structure, but good lord, is that like the Kong Netflix show where they had interactive stuff? Ugh, no, and I don't think I'll ever go back to that. I still don't agree with Ready Player One as multiverse movie. Like, it's not a multimedia movie. Yeah, like, I know in the film... Sorry. I know in the movie they're all avatars. They're not meant to be actual characters. But, you know, the imagination of people watching the movie like to think of it as a multiverse film. It just makes it more fun. Yeah, one universe, but that's the thing. It's not... I think for me, it was my excuse to have a multiverse as a film. I know there's other movies that technically have it, but I much prefer Ready Player One because it brings all these characters together. Dimensionaut, yep. Ancient mammals. It's not a dinosaur. I don't think it's even considered a reptile anymore. It's an ancient mammal. But I don't care. It's still a big giant lizard. Let me just point this out for dino crazers out there. I know scientific accuracy is kind of a big twist with a lot of people. I'm a retrosaur. I will always be a retrosaurus. I don't care if it's historically inaccurate. I'm a retrosaur. I just think they look cooler. They look more fascinating. I don't mind feathered dinosaurs. I just need them to be scary. But when they look like fluffy house cats is where I turn it off. I'm sorry. I just like my retrosaurs. That's why I also do YouTube rarely because I'm working on You're doing a Spider-Man fan film? Really? Okay, well, let's hope it's not Mortis because good fucking lord. Quality was good, but, you know, story was kind of but also behind the scenes, good lord. But I'm curious, Calder Prime. Like, I'm curious how that comes out. You've got my attention there. I'm looking forward to it. Honestly, Jack, I would try to take a break, but don't worry about the projects. Be at your best when you're ready. Thank you so much, man. Like, that really comes a long way. You're pretty new to the channel. I just want to say, pretty new, but you leave a good impression for a starter. You know, kudos to you, man. Really appreciate that. Is it okay you're doing your life? Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate that, Super Godzilla Vlogs. Hope you feel better. Thank you, Martin. Really appreciate that. Hey, BIGJACKFilms, the Jurassic Wonder. I could change my username. So what can we expect from the Jurassic Park Legacy story without spoilers? Well, okay, let me just point this out. Can I be honest and say I'm tired of the whole spoiler thing? Because I miss the days where you kind of knew what the movie was going to be about, and you saw the behind the scenes and the making of it, which it intrigued its audience more to see. Now you don't see that anymore. You don't see trailers. You don't see behind the scenes stuff or featurettes. that really get you invested in what the plot is and what the story is. Like, did you guys know that the teaser trailer for The Empire Strikes Back, which was only concept art by Ralph McQuarrie in a slideshow, in the teaser, kind of spoiled the whole movie? Because you had, the escape from Hoth, you had talking about Lando, and Han and Leia meeting Lando, and literally the trailer says, see the ultimate final confrontation between Luke Skywalker and the master of the dark side of the Force, Darth Vader. So even they spoiled it. Now, the only thing they didn't spoil was the paternity test, but basically they didn't spoil, like, they spoiled it enough where people could get attention and go to see it. And that's my problem with movies today. They don't spoil it. They don't give you anything. Like, the synopsis itself is now spoilers. So you know what? To theme Zoic Mind, excuse me. I'm going to give you the rundown of what the plot is. Just give me a sec. Oh, Christ. Got a little bit of a bubble flub going on there. But the plot synopsis of the final Legacy reviews is this. So just bear in mind, it takes place after the events of the 5-part King Kong reviews that we have going on. That's going to come out first. But basically, my character is picked up by InGen to come visit a newly facilitated island, a new Jurassic Park, built by the new co-founders of InGen, the new funders. And it has everything. It has everything from, the dinosaurs that we've seen in the previous films. It's a bigger island. It's actually, we're kind of reviving the 50-50 canon of Isla Adventura, which in some of the older canon was basically a third island of Jurassic Park that actually functioned. And it is the set piece for all the Universal Studios parks, which were canon to a degree. And we're kind of bringing that back a little bit. It's just not set at Universal Studios. It's set in the actual park. And my character goes in, and at this point, he's already been through a few disappointments that he's kind of like Jeff Goldblum at this point. Like the old version, my character previously would have been like Alan Grant or Ellie Sattler or the kids, amazed by these wonders. But now he's kind of tapped out where he's franchised out of it, and he's like Jeff Goldblum saying, this is not going to work. And how many times is this not going to work? But unfortunately, obviously some shady shit goes down at Jurassic Park that might tie into my show's characters and villains that, of course, shit's going to hit the fan, and my character has to kind of stop it and try to find a way to make sure the park's okay. So that's sort of what you could get from it. Now, if you've seen some of the pictures I've been posting on my community tabs or my Instagram, one of the biggest spoilers I can give without the story is that we're using practical effects, and not just practical effects, full-size animatronic dinosaurs. I've gotten permission from a few people that I've got connections with to utilize the animatronics. And not only are we doing that, we are using CG to some extent to just for the most difficult pieces, but this is going to be the most, much like Dominion, the most practical of this series. And it's going to be wonderful. You're going to see like legit dinosaurs moving around and interacting. It's not just green screen and digitized. Like these are creatures you get to like see and touch, and they look great on camera. And I'm really looking, this is a much bigger scale Jurassic Park than anything we've ever done before. Even though it's kind of condensed, it's still bigger. And I'm really looking forward to showing you guys this. It's going to, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be incredible. And you guys are going to be seeing that very soon. So that's sort of the plot of the next part of the series. So yeah, there you go, man. There's your little insight. I think I know what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Josh. That is our reason why we're talking about it, because the last one sucked so hard that we have to give insight to the one that actually is better and the superior Peter Pan. I love the original Disney film, but the 2003 film is where it's at, and I got a lot to talk about there. Agreed. This is what let's see. Worst thing about YouTube are the ads. Yes and no. The ads I can see being a bit annoying, but I rely on them to make money and produce the next project. So I know ads are annoying, but they actually allow me to get paid. So that is the reason why I'm actually okay with ads. Take your time. Thank you so much. Holy shit. Okay, let's go through the bottom comments because there's so many comments. We're gonna have to we're gonna be unable to keep up with demand. So let's just go to the bottom and start from there. Thoughts on the new Godzilla -1 movie? I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know anything about it. Let's just see. Holy crap. Wow. Okay, we're getting a lot. Let's actually go back a little bit. Sorry if I don't see a lot. I'm in the middle of a gaming stream. No worries, man. No worries, Huey. Good to see you. Hello there, Zelda Universe. Good to see you. Thoughts on the Zelda movie with Sony? At first I was excited, but now I'm like, shit, given who's behind it. I'm not. I'm much rather going to prefer Ridley Scott's Legend, which I watched again recently. Still is great. Still is a masterpiece. I fall in love with it every time. Let's see. It really says a lot when movies I really like years like Transformers still. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Movies have just not been doing well this year. Thoughts on hype for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire? The fact we live in a timeline where Ghostbusters 4 is a thing is a miracle. Let me put it like this. What I really like is that I think they should have called it Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. That is terrible. I don't care, but I'm going to own that. But after my love for Afterlife, which kind of made me a Ghostbusters fan, yeah, call me excited. It's also an original idea, an original concept. I like what they're doing with this. It's going to be interesting. And I'm really excited to see the next chapter in the Ghostbusters franchise. Like, I never thought I'd see that, but, you know, I'm really excited. Thoughts on the new dinosaur short film, The Hatchling? I've not heard of this, Sammy. Please send me a link to that. 65, I know from an edited clip that the trailer had been obscured front legs, this giant. Yeah. Wasn't there just something like, apparently it wasn't finished? I don't know. Fan films can be hit or miss, but yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Lotus sucked, man. Lotus was terrible. And that's the thing. Even as a film, it wasn't that good. It actually wasn't that good, despite its great quality. I prefer Green Goblin's Last Stand. You want to take influence, Calder Prime, Green Goblin's Last Stand, and that was made in the 90s. That's where it's at. That is the definitive Spider-Man film. I really didn't like, yeah, I think it was generic, but like, hey, it was better than the last two Jurassic Parks. At least it was somewhat different. It was a remake of Planet of the Dinosaurs. Let's go down here. Made a whole video on that. Really? Okay, I'm going to take a look at that. Same final film. It really says a lot. Okay, we already answered that. We already answered that. Wow, we answered a lot. Let me go down a little bit. I attended the 2007 re-release of Nightmare Before Christmas. Let me tell you, it was like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Really? I'm going to have to do that sometime if they ever re-release it. I know they released it this year, but let's, maybe again. I have no desire to see that, Sammy. No desire. Ding dong, Miss Anthropo. Yeah, okay. Now that the fucker is gone, I can finally let loose. Y'all ready? Okay. Miss Anthropony, whatever the fuck his name change is, sucks. Was awful. Was absolute trash. Thank God he's gone. Oh my God. Okay. So the first thing I'm just going to say, and I'm one of these old school guys like Opie and Anthony, I could not stand his annoying voice. I could not stand his, everything has to sound like this because everything is negative and I sound like the commercial for 4-section lightsabers. Like, that was the only thing I thought of was, if you remember the commercial for the 4-section lightsaber, which was the spring-loaded telescopic lightsaber, and the announcer was like, 4-section lightsabers, light to sounds, 4-section lightsabers. So imagine that type of voice for every single goddamn YouTube video he did. He was always like this all the fucking time about every goddamn thing, and I have anger issues, and I cannot fucking control it, and blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, it was so obnoxious. Granted, he had 1 or 2 videos that I actually can say, you know what? That was an okay video. He made his point across. He had a valid point. That's all right. But to make hour-long videos about The Last Jedi and just beating a dead horse and you just can't control yourself, dude, you need to shut up. You need to shut up and stop going on about that. It's a movie. It's not like your religion was destroyed. Just calm down, right? Just calm down, man. But then on top of that, the video that there was a point, I understand the point, but now I look back on it and I'm like, God, that sucks. I hated his response to the Nostalgia Critic Sailor Moon video because he has no fucking idea what he's talking about. Like, I get his response towards some of the things Doug made, but the thing is that that video was satire. It's comedy. He was making jokes based on an opinion where he hasn't watched the show fully. If you're expecting him to drop everything, drop hundreds of dollars to watch the series, to read the comics and stuff, to know what he's talking about, then it's like, it's an opinion, dude. You don't have to watch it. But the part that always made me realize how much of a dickweed this guy was, how much of a twat this fucker was. He said something that just shows how bitter, how jealous, and how much like he was essentially Frank Grimes of YouTube. The Frank Grimes, Homer's enemy. He literally said in that video, this guy has 1 million subscribers and I don't. That is a clear sign of insecurity, of jealousy, of bitterness, of just pure, you ain't happy until you're better than everybody else. And that is such a piss poor way to go about being a YouTuber. And look, I've got 20,000 subscribers. I'm happy with that. I'm grateful with that. But you fuck. You know, you had more subscribers than me. You had like hundreds of thousands. And you're still saying, this guy has 1 million subscribers and I don't. Force action lightsabers. You ungrateful twat. You ungrateful dipshit. I would kill to have that many subscribers. But you're just bitching about it because you have the power. I understand you have your opinion, but holy crap, dude. Holy crap, dude. That's the kind of opinion where you have to shut the fuck up. Okay? Your opinion doesn't matter. But with that shit. But yeah, I'm glad he's gone. I'm glad the twit is gone. But I'm also upset he's gone because now I have nothing to make fun of. I'm still going to make fun of him, but one thing I wish somebody could do, I'm sure somebody has an archive of all of his videos somewhere in the ethernet, in the internet. Somebody, and here's the thing, much like great YouTube poopers like Waxinator and shit, somebody's got to re-upload them. Somebody has to, please. I actually would like somebody to re-upload them because I want to see those videos. I want to gather them, and I actually want to like have them on standby in case I need to crack a joke. But I'm so upset. I really wanted to grab that Sailor Moon episode, but I had no idea he was going to do that. Like, granted, good. Maybe the guy will get some fucking help, but shutting down your YouTube channel? Come on, dude. Dude, you were probably making money. Was he even making money on that shit? If he was, I would actually not do that. Like, I would not do that, and this guy's an idiot. So there's my final full-on open cage opinion about Misanthropony. Fucking hated him. Fucking hated him. Loved making fun of him. Loved mocking him. Piece of shit person with severe anger issues. We all have problems, buddy, but holy shit, you have a dime a dozen, and you have no self-control. But I'm also kind of disappointed that he's gone because I have nothing to make fun of now. That's such a bully way of going about it, but it's like, look, he deserves it. And I'm really disappointed that he's gone. And you know what? Really, Misanthropony is the reason why bronies, I mean, look, everybody, like, if you're a brony out there in the chat, I'll respect you because you like your thing, fine. But he's the prime example of toxic fandoms when it comes to that IP. And it's why I just stay fucking clear of that fan base because it's like, I'm not interested. I don't like it. So there you go. You got your rant of the day on Misanthropony. And God, that felt good to get that out there for you guys. And I'm also keeping you guys entertained. That is my rule when it comes to when I'm upset about something and I need to talk about it. I'll at least try to make it funny because at least if you're going to get people to listen, give them a good laugh so they know, okay, he knows what he's talking about, but he's also making me laugh. So I'm going to pay attention because this is funny. So there you go. There's my opinion, Misanthropony. Disappointed that I have nothing to make fun of, but I'm glad he's gone. Good riddance. Go fuck yourself, man. Go fuck yourself. Moving on. I have only seen the original series on Crunchyroll, and be sure because I didn't like the Dragon Ball Z movies. What, Sailor Moon? Okay, did you watch the Viz dub or the English dub? I'm not sure. Similar situation. Let's see. What are your reactions to the 2005 Black? Okay, so about that Fire Orca, great name by the way. Clearly, somebody likes the Richard Harris film. I mean, I knew about it. I have talked about it briefly in my King Kong Encounter review years ago, but I'm going to make mention of it in this 5-part arc a little bit more thoroughly. Okay. When it comes to I'm actually going to re-talk about the rides a little bit in this arc. And I'm going to go into a bit more depth and a bit more detail. That's the best part about it. It's sort of a revisit of older videos, but I'm actually going into more detail. And there's a couple of people I've talked to, and there's a couple of guest celebrities I've talked to who may or may not make cameos that were very insightful on information and research. You're going to see a lot more in-depth detail in these episodes going forward. Yeah, just interactive? Okay. They're good. Okay, I'll try to maybe look around. I don't know how to access them, but I'll maybe. The Multiverse series of YouTube by Bat in the Sun, where they make live action death battles like videos. Yeah, those are pretty cool. I really like those, especially the ones with the late Jason David Frank when he came in as the Green and White Ranger. That shit was cool, and also it made me realize, you know, if he's fighting like Ryu and Scorpion, that means Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter basically can share the same universe. Like, where's that? I kind of like the idea that basically, I guess at this point, because have Saban ever confirmed that the Bat in the Sun videos are canon to the Power Rangers timeline? Because if that's the case, with Tommy creating the Master Morpher and working closely with the Morphing Grid, wouldn't that mean that basically Tommy invented a multiverse portal, which would be amazing if he did? Because that means he can also travel the fictional dimensional multiverses. That would be interesting. Thoughts on YouTube made for kids? I mean, it's been around for a couple of years. I've never had really bad effects on it. And I just don't like the fact that parents are using YouTube as a babysitter. That's so lazy. Just hire an actual person who's got a good resume. Fan film Black Suit Spider-Man. Ooh, okay. I'm curious to see how that comes out. Let's think. Feathered dinosaurs are terrifying. Yeah, you know what? I watched Carnosaur recently. I haven't seen that movie in years. When it's like a little chicken little demon motherfucker, oh, that shit's terrifying. Love that. So there's that. Thoughts on the recent announcement? Yeah, I'm concerned. Thoughts on Scalp Program? I heard it's fucking terrible, Lewis. I heard it's trash. So I'm like, bum. Another franchise is wrecked. Like, I'm like, great, another one. It doesn't faze me anymore. It's just expected at this point. Miles Ultimate Spider. Oh, okay, yeah, I want to see how this comes out, Kelder. You know what, Kelder? Depending on the quality of it, I mean, send me some demo stuff, and I'll see if I can give you my take on things. But we'll be in touch about certain things. I'm curious what you got pitched here. I don't mind Retrosaurus as long as they're interesting. 65 and I mean, I like the T-Rex scene with the spaceship. I like the Raptors. I mean, here's my thing with 65. It's clear it was a low budget. It's very much like Carnosaur, very low budget, which means less dinosaurs. I would have given to have more dinosaurs in that movie. I think the dinosaurs, maybe you could have had one or two with some herbivorous dinosaurs. I watched 20 Million Miles to Earth on YouTube. A grateful state. Is it on YouTube for free? Let me know. I think I have that in my archives. Thank you, Matthew Lemott. Finally, someone mentioned Scott Pilgrim. Yeah, I just I heard it's not good. So I'm just going to avoid it if it's not good. You will be mentioned in my return of Ultraman. Really? Okay. I'm curious what you see here. I'm wanting to see what that comes in. Thoughts on Godzilla -1, and that there's theory, which is there's two Godzillas. I mean, a lot of people have seen the movie. A lot of people have not said much, so I am curious what they do there. I want to see it. I'm really excited. I think the biggest question for me is it going to be, like, what is the quality in comparison to Shin Godzilla, which was the last Toho Godzilla film? That's what's got my attention. Is this going to be better, worse, or kind of right in the middle? That's going to be the big question. Because Shin Godzilla was so well received. I miss those kind of things. I mean, yeah, I miss good shit too. How do you feel about the Frankenstein movie coming out with Andrew Garfield? Really? They're doing that? Does it come out like in October? Okay, I'll have to see a trailer. Here's another rule I have with upcoming movies. I'll give my full opinion if I'll see it or not when I see the trailer. I mean, behind the scenes stuff is cool once in a while when it comes to certain IPs, but until I see a trailer, I can really judge if I'm going to like something or not. let's see here. I wonder what they'll ever do, whatever did. Okay, Orca, I can give you a little insight. Those answers, that question you have, the answers will be, to quote thumbnails, Thumb Wars, the answers will be revealed in my retrospective. I've got confirmation on what happened. So you will find out in those episodes. They will be a Big Jack Films exclusive. So there's a lot of exclusives in this episode. So you wait and see. I like not knowing things because it makes me more excited than knowing. I mean, yeah, but also if you're like if you're like a big $1 billion company marketing the next installment to fans, you've got to give them a little lead on what's happening to get their attention. Like, that's the one thing I will say about, like, say, the Star Wars prequels. We all knew that Anakin was going to be Darth Vader, but at the same time, it's like George gave us, like, George and Peter Jackson were like the key to giving a lot of people good insider information on not just the story, but the making of the film. I adore the web documentaries that used to be on StarWars.com, and I adore the production diaries that were on Kong is King, which somebody actually uploaded a full compilation movie of the production diaries, which y'all should go watch, because those production diaries, any bonus features Peter Jackson put out, anything George put out, what's great about those is that they're essentially a filmmaking course, 101. If you want to know sort of the 101s about filmmaking, because I was self-taught, I didn't go to film school. Go watch those and you'll get a full detailed education on every department, every detail of filmmaking, and it's breathtaking. It's amazing, and you can learn so much from that if you're an upcoming filmmaker like myself. Hello there, Jack. Thoughts on the new Super Nintendo World? I have to go see it. You know what? I've got halfway through the Super Mario movie. I haven't finished it, but I'm gonna get back on it as soon as possible because I feel like I should do a video on that. But I'm gonna take a look at that, and then once Super Nintendo World opens in Orlando is when I'll probably give my opinion on it. Let's see here. Anything about 5 Depths aside from Sorna? You know, it's funny because the 5 Depths, I'm gonna have to do some research on. We didn't really plan on talking about it, but maybe there's 1 or 2 scenes we haven't shot yet that have a bit of exposition dumping, so maybe I'll fit those in somewhere. Let me make a note about that. Actually, let me put that in my notes here on my other computer, because I'm still using. Here's the thing: my laptop. I just want to point this out. My laptop, unfortunately, has a bad battery, and I have to either get it replaced or get a new laptop, which I probably am due to get one anyway. Especially before I go back to see my dad in February, maybe. But what I'll do is I'll probably like write down some stuff. But I'm still doing live streams on here. I'm fighting to do this because at least it's working. Put that in. 5 Depths, Jurassic Park. Make a note. Okay, so put that in for now. But I really appreciate that. I'll take a look at that. Last time we had something like that was the first trailer for the Box Trolls, where you see the animators. Yeah, but I'm not talking about trailers behind the scenes. I'm talking about just you have the trailer, but then you go online, you can find behind the scenes material and sort of the process. Let's see here. Still better use of practical effects and awful. No, you know what? I heard Five Nights at Freddy's did use animatronics. They got Jim Henson. I didn't get a chance to see it because I'm not a Five Nights at Freddy's person. I've never played the games. I'm kind of a virgin to it. But I will say this. One of my collaborators, Psych Goddess 11, who is on Twitch, who's on Instagram. She plays Mocha Akashia on my show. She's a huge Five Nights at Freddy's fan. And she got me onto this song that's been trending called Join Us for a Bite. God, that shit's catchy. It's really good. Like, I'm actually surprised. It kind of got me interested a bit in the franchise, so that's pretty cool. God, I wish I had something like that for a fan series, because I'm hoping to plan to do a sequel to my Spider-Man fan film, and I kind of want to do Venom, but not a very cheap one. Best thing you can do is, if you want to do a practical Venom, just ask cosplayers. Cosplayers who make Venom stuff, they're the best to go to because they can tell you how to do it on a budget. Okay, Monarch. Okay. I've heard good things about it. I just haven't got a chance to watch it. Again, just time and fatigue. And also I don't have Apple Plus. I already just talked about that. Already talked about that. Wow, a lot of repeated questions. If you hated Peter Pan and Wendy, don't watch The Green Knight. It's from the same director. I haven't even heard what that is, so I will probably avoid it, Michael. Thank you. or Michelle. I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, I did not like the new one. That I literally, our review of Peter Pan is going to open with, "Hey, welcome to another review." Well, this sucked. There's going to be a lot of those this year. First Spider-Man fan film, Sin enter as a villain. Hardcore Spider-Man fans in the chat. All right. One thing I also want to say too, guys. Again, feel free to drop some super chats. It would really help because our algorithm has not been good. Camp Cretaceous Hidden Adventure interactive episodes reminds me of the Telltale game. I'm trying to find that game, but it's so hard to find on 360. Very rare. I can't believe it's about 35 years since the failed Nintendo PlayStation. Really? Wow, 35 years. Holy shit. Thoughts on the YouTube? I've already answered that. Ghostbusters Quadrilogy. Yep. We're getting Ghostbusters 4. You know what? I'm going to be that guy. I think we should get Ghostbusters 5, but it should be the final chapter. But on top of that, you know, I'm going to say it. As much as I really did not like 2016, I'd say there's some redemption if Amazing Spider-Man can get redeemed. So here's my opinion. Do a multiverse movie. Open up the multiverse and have it where there's alternate Ghostbusters and have the kid Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters, and the 2016 Ghostbusters. So that's like 12 Ghostbusters. That's 12 all fighting for the fate of New York against an army of monsters, demons, and ghosts. That would be amazing. And also, I would throw this in there as a pitch. When the final battle happens, you play the Ghostbusters theme, but you have it mixed with the AC/DC song Thunderstruck. I don't know if you guys have ever heard the song Thunderbusters. It mixes the Ghostbusters theme with Thunderstruck by AC/DC. That shit should play in a Ghostbusters movie because that would be incredible. Yes, I'm saying, yeah, it's a great one, Green Goblin's Last Stand. I'm hoping IndiFan covers that. I thought the practical effects were pretty good. Yeah, I heard it was not terrible. I recently met Sam Raimi. Oh, how was he, Anthony? Congrats. He was supposed to come to Fan Expo, but he bailed because of the strike. Let's see here. Who's Misanthropony? He was a YouTuber who was very toxic and very angry. He's a very angry man. Yeah, wow. Okay, yeah, I'm now finally catching up on the Misanthropony memes. Yep, wow. I'm so sorry. I'm so delayed by this. Holy shit. That's what I said about Shinobi 3 because he did the same, which is, yep. That's the thing. I just do not follow the shit. I do not follow the fan base of that. Let's see. Yeah, there's so many film and video essays on his videos. I think his old videos are still there. Yeah, again, see if anybody re-uploaded them because that's what I'm wanting to see. Okay, I'll take a look. I'll try to find them. Thank you so much. I don't know who that is. Let's see here. Also, I just wanted to say too, because like with all the video essays of content creators I always see, which I do enjoy to an extent, all I'm asking is, where's my video essay? Where's mine on my show? I mean, granted, I've never had any controversy because I'm a pretty honest man and I've no sin ever committed. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? I'm waiting for my video essay because I know it's going to probably be coming. Like, look, James has never really stirred any wrong, and he's got a ton of video essays. So this is not me tooting my own horn. I'm just making a joke. Like, where's my lore video essay? The fact that Transformers will outgross both the Flash. Yeah, and plus, that was a good movie. I think that's the difference. You know what the difference between that and the Flash is? Transformers was actually a good movie. Think about it, Hollywood. There's that. Oh my god. I don't know if this works, but it's there. Let's see here. Holy shit, there's a lot of people. Have a question. If Peter Jackson were to return from retirement and we could do a Lost Willis O'Brien concept, War Eagles. Yes, Creation and War Eagles I want to see. But you know what? For some reason, I want to see PJ go back to his roots. And I'm with what is it, Dave from Midnight Screenings on CinemaSnob's website when they did the first Hobbit. It's like, I want to see Meet the Feebles fucking 2. Meet the Feebles is insane. Can we get another one? Can we get another Brain Dead? Because that would be amazing if we got another Brain Dead. I would love to see more of that Jackson on serious drugs because that was good creative shit. I think it was the VizDub. Oh yeah, VizDub. Oof. Got opinions on that. We have to wait a whole month. Yeah, I know. That means the leaks are going to come out. No. Thoughts on Friday the 13th video game? Never played it. Never played it. No worries, man. Starry Masker. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Street Fighter crossover isn't Oh, let's see. Okay, I checked. The Street Fighter crossover. Really? Oh, that's a bummer. That would have been cool to see the Street Fighter guys show up in the show. Studio Ghibli is releasing a new movie. Another movie. Okay, I'm going to have to look that up. Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of people when I did that rant. Holy shit. Okay, let's just go down and let's just catch up to where we were, because holy shit, there's a lot of people. Thoughts on Killer Clowns? Never seen it. I'm glad he's gone. It sounds like an AI. What are your thoughts on the 10 movies? I love the first one. I've seen bits of the second one, and I am kind of curious how they do the series, if it's going to be like Family Guy. Looking back at your Power Rangers 27 review, you did bring up some good points, plus your editing skills are not tops. Thank you, Cameron. Really appreciate that. So that's another thing I want to bring up when I cover the first Power Rangers movie from 95. It is going to be sort of a follow-up to that. We're thinking about doing more Ranger stuff and like working, because obviously, here's what's interesting. When we shot Ready Player One and we had our Lord Zed actor, who was fantastic, we shot some additional footage because we're thinking, well, if we need to bring back Lord Zed, at least we have the footage. So there is a possibility of Lord Zed coming back, and maybe we'll do some Ranger footage. Who knows? Depends on the season. But I know a few Ranger cosplayers who are really good friends of mine who I've worked with before, and they love when we do collabs. So I'll probably reach out to them again. I've thought of ways to do the Rangers once again, because I think there's stuff of definitely doing more with them. I already answered that. There should be a convention where all film reviewers and fan filmmakers come together. Yeah, FanCon. I don't know, make something like that. Make a fan film festival. And it could just be all open range, all different genres. I don't know, the Fan Film Awards. Where's my award? How about the Frighteners 2? Nah, because the first Frighteners wasn't really that good. It was creative, and it was cool to see Michael J. Fox there. And if you ever see the outtake reel, he's constantly calling the judge Doc, and so it makes for good. If you get the uncut footage, it would make for a good fan film trailer for Back to the Future 4. Who agrees that the Tintin movie? Yeah! Why does everyone forget about that movie? I saw that out of pure random. Fucking love Tintin. Not even read the books or read the cartoon, but that was a great movie. That pirate battle for CGI, honestly, that's another thing about Tintin. It beats any of those Robert Zemeckis motion capture films. Like, this is what they should have been, but they didn't utilize it enough. But Tintin, that pirate battle, that was awesome. That was insane. I had such a good time with that. That was incredible. And then the payoff at the end really held up. Really wish they did more of those. That was beautiful. Do you think there should be a part 2? No. We've done it once. We don't need to do it again. What's up, Kong Rules? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Kong will return in 2024. Thoughts on I don't know who that is. My problem is accurate dinosaurs that everyone realizes the dinosaurs can be scary and cute and wolf or bear. Yeah. Will season 8 finale be this year or next year? It's probably, it depends. Depends on how hard we work. Depends on how much we put out. But so the season 8, so the finale, you're not talking about the mid-finale, right? The mid-finale is going to be the first, but then again, long break till we come back to the second half, because there's a lot of plot that happens in season 8. And I'll say this too about season 8. People ask me like story structure, where we're at, and how long this is going to go on. Let's just say Ready Player One was the Goblet of Fire of the series. So now we're in Order of the Phoenix. So it kind of shows where we are trajectory from beginning to end. So we're at Order of the Phoenix now. And it's going to be interesting to see with season 8 and its structure how it goes down. Because there's a lot I don't want to give away that is really going to raise the stakes a little. I'm so happy to see Lord Zed. Yeah, I know. Lord, that was cool. We actually got a cosplayer that we knew from Comic-Con, so was gladly wanting to help out. And then on top of that, it was 2 actors, actually. It was a physical actor. We had a voice actor. And the voice actor I met on TikTok, and he was fantastic. So we're going to work with him more in the future. Like, a lot of the people who worked on Ready Player One, they were wonderful. Really great guys. Tintin's great. Yep, I agree. Thoughts on David Abel's The Primevals? I've heard it's been in development for 55 years. Then it's probably not going to happen at all. I don't know. Have you heard of this actress and content creator named Lisa Cozy? I think she had one of the most shockingly interesting voices. I don't know. I'm concerned. My eyebrows are raising like, uh-oh, is this a problem? But I don't know. Have I seen the Green Hornet movie? I didn't get a chance to see it, but I did love the TV show. My dad and I used to watch it, and I love the crossover with 66 Batman, making it basically that, wow, Green Hornet is actually a DC character. Now, you know what I love too with like the new Adam West Batman material that they're doing, even though Adam West has been gone for a while. I like the fact that what is it? I like the fact that they've basically gone back and done new expanded material with that universe. Like apparently Superman is now canon to it, which is interesting, but like it's a totally different Superman. It's not like like Reeves or George or any of those. So that's kind of interesting. Which I'm kind of curious about. So there's that. So yeah, do I like David Attenborough? I like his brother. I like I like his brother Richard, but I am curious to see how I've never watched much of David's material. Like I hear he's a good guy though. I would love to Henry. I would actually like to okay, again, any requests, if you guys want to request, Patreon sponsors where your best bet to get me, because if it's stuff like this, I will cover it. Because I love robots. That is my favorite Blue Sky film. And part of me, if I want to talk about Blue Sky, I'll probably cover that first. So, yeah, I'd love to review that movie. I mean, again, depends on my time and schedule, but that is something I would love to talk about. Represent. Ranger VFX are really awesome to do. Hence why I make them nowadays. See, mine was Ranger suit stuff, green screen creatures, and then for the Zords, I just use stop motion because that's fun. It gets me back into the groove of that. Favorite indie anime project? I don't really have a favorite. I mean, like anything Forest Fire 101 does. He's a good kid. He makes really good Lego videos. I've been watching him since the beginning. I have not watched the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I saw it in theaters too. It was great. Yeah, the comics I heard are good too. Thoughts on Disney's Wish? I heard it's not bad. I heard people actually really liked it. So I'm like, okay, let's see what you got here, Disney. Are you finally making a change? A lot of people are talking about 1010 now. Holy shit. Maybe that'll be a Patreon sponsored review. Just remember, every time you do a Patreon sponsored every month, it is a once a month thing, or like whenever, like basically after I finish the first Patreon, I can do the next one. Thoughts on The Outsiders? I like that movie. It's one of the better Coppola films, because Coppola is very hit or miss for me. Yes, Wet Ass should have done Polar Express. Yeah, I think it actually would have been better if Robert Zemeckis went to them. Let's see. Not much, man. Good to see you. The guy who likes trains. That's a great YouTube channel name. I'm just gonna say that's amazing. That's funny. Thoughts? Have you seen Steven Spielberg's The Fablesman? A lot of people tell me I haven't not gotten a chance to see that, unfortunately, but I heard it was really good. I'd love to see Peter Jackson do a sequel to Bad Taste, or a trilogy on Bad Taste. That would be interesting if he went back right to his roots. Holy shit, that's going way back. Well, will you do a crossover with My Little Pony reviewer? The only one I've ever really done crossovers with is Huey Tumor, because he's a nice guy, and he doesn't let the pony fandom overcrowd his creativity. So I like working with him. Like Brett Charles, who played Jack Driscoll in my remake. He's a brony. He was a brony. Evan was a brony. Like, there's nothing wrong with people who like it. It's just a matter of the fan base and the ones who are toxic, which are like every group, every culture, everything has a 10% of toxic ones and bad eggs. And unfortunately, the rule is if you don't toss out the bad eggs, your hen house is going to stink. It's kind of a chicken run segue, but there you go. I like seeing people that saying that feathers are not scary, which does not sound right in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, Thoughts on PlayStation games? I love PS1. Part of me wants to do another game review at some point, but I don't know what I would do. Because PS1, there's a lot of games I would love to cover. Rugrats Search for Reptar, Disney's Tarzan, the Spyro trilogy. There's a lot of those I wouldn't mind covering down the line because I love the PS1. Actually, you know what? I'll say this. Okay, so after I finished the fourth Inuyasha movie, I'm not done doing reviews of Inuyasha just yet. I still got more vlogs to do, but in between that time, I thought about a couple things. I want to talk about the games. I want to talk about my top 10 favorite episodes, and then my potential for a 5th movie. And that's where I think I'm going to end the Inuyasha review stuff. But when it comes to the vlogs, those are coming back. I'm going to actually start working on them this month and start catching up, so I have something to put out week by week, starting in January. I was working on a series on my character, and it's a 5 episodes. I'm thinking about making one reference. Yeah, that's the thing. Name dropping my character in the timeline is great, and you can send it to me so I can kind of just say, okay, that's pretty cool. When it comes, this is something I wanted to bring up too. Unfortunately, with my time, I have not had a chance to do many cameo appearances, which a lot of people have been wanting me to do. And there's only a few I've got reserved because I've already made them promises. But when it comes to reviews, when it comes to just doing cameos and co-reviews and stuff, that's going to be a little tricky right now, guys, because I am working vigorously hard on these projects. However, I'm going to be 50-50. I don't mind doing cameos, but I will say this. One of the new Patreon tiers I'm going to start with in January is going to be, depending on who I work with, cameo appearances. It's going to be like cameo.com, except I don't have cameo.com. And I'm going to be essentially doing $50 for a cameo because that's just helps pay the bills. And also, I am willing to do a cameo and stuff. That's not to say I won't. It's just, yeah, I got to really start thinking about this channel if it is going to be a career fully of how I can utilize it. And I haven't utilized it enough. I've been a little naive, but I do want to give back. But I also do want to try to make some money. So there's that. So I would love to see the name drops and stuff. Like, that stuff is always flattering to me. So please do so. Have I seen the How You Train Your Dragon? I've seen the movies, but I'm not going to talk about the show. Look, that's RaisorBlade's department. He can talk about it. Heard of Krampus, probably will not see it. You should bring Bradley to G-Fest. I want to. He wants to come. Okay. So G-Fest next year is for the 70th anniversary of the original Godzilla. We're probably considering bringing our group down because one thing. Okay, here's a petition I would like to ask, and you guys can vote in the comments. Would you like to see, because it's technically got Godzilla and Kaijus in it, because of the fan screenings and stuff, if you go to G-Fest, would you guys like to see the Ready Player One storyline, so it's about 2 hours, screened at G-Fest? Let me know in the chat. Give a petition. Let me know, because I think I would love to see that whole storyline told with a live audience. Sure, it may not make a lot of sense to most, but it'll be cool to screen the material towards an audience and be like, oh, wow, this is awesome. Let me know. All right, we're going to answer a few more questions, and then I do have to take off and get back to work and call a few people. So I just wanted to obviously make a return to the live streams. I'm going to try to bring these back because I've just been holding them off for so long, and I'm so sorry, guys. So let's answer 3 more questions here. There's one here I really liked. Do you think we'll ever get a sequel to Spirited Away? I would love to, but I doubt it, given Miyazaki's very protective of that film, and I am too, because that is one of my favorite animated movies. So to franchise it out would be a sin for me. But I would love to see. I mean, I've actually tinkered with the idea of doing a live-action teaser trailer for a potential sequel, like a pitch of what I would do, and I just have not had time to produce it. But that was just something I had a while ago. I just never got a chance to do it. This is a good question from Great Man. Do you have any unreleased videos that you're going to release? Yes. We have some making of documentaries, some blooper reels and stuff. But again, I'm going to hand them over to assistant editors so I can have time to work on the big projects. So I'll let you know when those come out. But let's answer one more question. And actually, it's another one from Great Man. And I think I'm going to like this one. Actually, you know what? Here, let me just answer 2 more. Will Carl return someday, even after Pork Dexter's death? Yeah, he's still alive. Like, he's still around. He's still going to be a prominent character. Interesting enough, we are writing a sort of short film / post-credit scene that we're currently editing that actually, believe it or not, is going to kind of explain how he survived the explosion of my old base. Because that's a time gap I'm actually wanting to actually expand on, but not just expand on, but it's going to actually start building up the next kind of overall arcing story of this season. So we're building it up, and it's going to be, and we're using flashbacks and past material to explain this stuff. There's stuff I shot years ago that I'm finally releasing that sort of pad out the timeline. So you're going to see a lot of that. It's going to be a very creative choice, essentially. Now, I'll answer this one question. Well, again, like there's 2 more questions I'm going to answer there, and then I'm gonna call it a night. But they're really good questions. So Sammy has a question. It's a good one, actually. Did you know Android 18 already has a love interest in Dragon Ball Z in the form of its midget named Krillin? Yes. Okay, so you might be confused, Sammy, of like what is the 18 relationship going on with my character and her in this show. Now, obviously, the 18 we all know in the show is married to Krillin. They have a daughter. They live happily ever after. They're great. But you gotta remember, this is not the same 18 from that timeline. There are 2 separate 18s from alternate timelines. There's Universe 7, which is the main Dragon Ball timeline. But then you have the future Trunks timeline. And that's where this 18 in my show comes from. Now, you're also probably wondering, wait a minute, didn't Trunks blow her the fuck up? Yes, but if you go watch, Sammy, my Dragon Ball Evolution review, or my fan film, Dragon Ball Retaliation, I think it's called. I think that's what the subtitle I gave it was. But if you go watch that, it actually explains what happened, how this is happening. Basically, the 18 in my show is from the future Trunks timeline. And because she's been incorporated and encrypted to be pure evil, my character had to find a way to transfer her back to the good side. So he went to Universe 7 specifically during the time frame between Z and Super, where Mr. Satan did hold a Budokai tournament and celebration in which my character entered, beat up all the Z fighters just to get 18 to win the tournament, win the prize money, favor her attention, then to talk to her and say, hey, you can have the money, you can do all this, but listen, my friend's in trouble. She's from an alternate timeline. She's you, essentially. Can I get a copy paste of your data files on a USB so I can install it into the other one? It is essentially taking like a program, a software, and copy pasting the software and installing it into another computer is sort of the idea. And that sort of explains sort of the storyline, like the timeline of things and where we're at now. So she's got the memory banks of 2 lives. And that's what makes it kind of fascinating as we write her character. I should also say, by the way, just while I'm at it, I just got a message from Alana Roses, who plays as 18. She's unfortunately not feeling too well, guys. She's a little sick and under the weather, bronchitis and stuff, and just like not feeling too great. Can you guys, like, if you guys go to my Instagram and you see she follows me, go send her a follow, go send her a message. Well, not a message, but just go support her stuff. I think that might cheer her up a little bit today, and I would really appreciate that. So that's sort of something I could really do. If you guys can do that, that'd be fantastic. But I hope that answers your question, Sammy, and that's a very good question. I really like those ones. But the last one I want to answer here is from Great Man. Well, not that one. There was another one. Here. This is the last question of the night, guys. So will I bring back Lego stop motion Lego videos? I've really been thinking about it ever since I actually just built a brand new Lego pirate set when I had COVID as a thing to pass time. It's $350 though. Lego's really expensive. But I've been tinkering with the idea of returning to that to a degree, and really getting my foot back in because I had fun making those, and they were just something I did on my self-time. But again, they are very time consuming. So part of me wants to go back. But at the same time, I also have to do my show. I'm thinking about it. Give me thoughts, Great Man. And that's sort of something I've been tempering with of wanting to do. But yeah, that's it for this live stream, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm kind of back. I'm going to get back into the swing of things. I'm actually also going to try to maybe the next live stream, maybe I'll give you a little behind the scenes insight by editing videos. Maybe that will help you out, give you some structure, because I've done that before with Hook. But now that you kind of have a gesture of what's going on, maybe I'll show you guys the process, and that'll give you guys a little insight. It'll help me work, and I can talk to you guys simultaneously. So again, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, keep watching our content, get the views up, get the revenue up. Support the channel via super chats, via Patreon. Patreon is where we're going to really start promoting stuff. You actually can get previews of some of the episodes coming up on there right now. So please go do that. Support my Patreon. But yeah, just follow me on Twitter. Follow me on, well, it's not even Twitter. It's X, but I don't care. I'm calling it Twitter. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Instagram. Follow my collaborators and follow the people I work with. They'd really appreciate that. But it's just good to kind of get back into the swing of things after 6 weeks of being sick. And I never want to go through that again. And I'm going to be back stronger than ever, just taking my time. But I'm here to just give you an insight of what's been happening. And I really appreciate you all so much. So until the next video, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. This is Big Jack Films signing off. Stay easy. Stay safe. Be kind to one another. Love each other. There's not enough of that right now in the world. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.